All right, I just want to thank everybody for coming here. This is the Verculen building. For those that may not know, some of you probably are aware of, have done a story about our facility here. This is kind of the premier vaccination site for the county and run incredibly well. Andrew Cox, director of our health department, along with our emergency management, Vicki Wolber, again, the folks that are here, the work that they're doing is incredible because we hear about it every day. And I say that for this reason. I'll go places and people tell me they've gotten vaccinated through this site, and they say it's been nothing but pleasurable. Understand that people that have wanted to get vaccinated, especially early on, when there was a big challenge to try to figure out how do we find enough vaccine, when they were able to come through here, it was almost like they won the lottery. They were so excited. And the way they were treated, how efficiently it was run and operated, and it's been that way ever since. Well, as you can see here, right now the big challenge has been probably more supply than there is demand. And so less people are interested to come on in and get vaccinated. So there's a big push right now, the public push. You're going to see media campaigns out there, people trying to say, you know, we should do this, we need to do this, and especially now that there's been a new matrix. Early on, the matrix set by the state was based upon percentage of test positives. It was also based upon flattening the curve, meaning the hospitals that were overwhelmed. Knowing that those numbers went up, all of a sudden we got thrown another matrix, and that's now trying to figure out how do we get back to normal through some type of percentage of people being vaccinated. And you know, sometimes that creates tension amongst the public, those that want to get vaccinated, those that don't. There is no law mandating it, so people, you know, have a right to make a choice and make a decision. But understand, here in Macomb County, we are going to continue to try to make it available for folks not just coming to this facility. We're putting it in the neighborhoods. We're taking it out with our outreach that we have, whether it's congregate care, people that are homebound. So there are plenty of opportunities. Anybody that wants to get vaccinated, there is an opportunity to get vaccinated. In fact, SMART started off early on of trying to get seniors to and from vaccination sites. And we had a separate site for seniors here in Macomb County. Well over 70% of our seniors, 60% now have been vaccinated. And that number keeps climbing. So that's probably the group that was our target group early on. SMART, we can't thank them enough for making it available to get people to those sites. And then they started to take care of people that had disabilities. And now, anyone who needs a ride, SMART will provide. They're going to provide a ride to anyone here. And again, it's not just Macomb County, Wayne and Oakland as well. So there really isn't a opportunity for people not to get vaccinated. In fact, there's plenty of opportunity for them to get vaccinated here in Macomb County specifically. So with that, it was interesting as we kind of went through this process. Everybody has their own opinion and their own thoughts and their own ideas and beliefs, and sometimes it creates challenge and some difficulties and tension as this goes on. This has been 14 months in the making. We've been dealing with this pandemic. And here in Macomb County, I'm very fortunate, not only working with our municipal partners, 27 municipalities that make up Macomb County, everyone unique and distinct, not just with the way they're, I guess, the community that they have, but also with the representation of public and elected officials. And here in Macomb County, we've had direct connection with every one of them on a daily basis. And so with that, we haven't had any challenges, be it political challenges or challenges about somebody feeling like they're not being treated fairly or not getting enough opportunity. We have had incredible outreach, and with that, here at the county level, we too have had internal issues, much like many of you who are listening, and even the media who are here. All of you have had to do things differently, but yet you still had to do things. There's still a job to get done. And we have found those opportunities here in Macomb County. The folks standing behind me, many of you know who these folks are. These are the countywide elected officials. Don Brown, who happens to be a board commissioner, but elected by his members as the chair, is also here. And what we wanted to do is provide an opportunity to just share with you the fact that we are united here in Macomb County to try to figure out how do we continue to work for the people, but also making sure that people know they have access to vaccines. I hear from these folks every day on a continuous basis, not only with issues internally, but even what they're hearing out on the streets about this whole COVID crisis. Whether it was not enough masks and how do we get PPE, what are we doing about test sites, can we get test sites available? A lot of their input and information was valued because they too have the very same constituent base that I do. And so we have the responsibility as a county executive of trying to provide that service, but had it not been for these folks standing behind me, it would have been probably a greater challenge along the way, especially the ability to work together, putting partisan differences aside and or maybe even your own personal opinions or beliefs. Yet we do share those quite often. And so with that, I want to introduce them or have them come on up and just speak a little bit about what they're seeing, what their challenges are, and the fact that they are continuing to work for the public here in Macomb County.
You know, Mark Hackle, our county executive, has really been the face to the Macomb County government for the last year and 14 months, I guess it's been. And he has done an incredible job. In fact, hats off to his entire team, because it's always about team, and his entire team has done an incredible job of really communicating to the people of Macomb County what's happening in county government in regards to the pandemic and other kinds of things. Mark and I talk every single day, and just about, sometimes more than once, and I will tell you, every conversation that we ever have is always about what's best for the residents of Macomb County and how can we problem solve this particular challenge or what have you. And it is never about, oh, you're a Democrat, I'm a Republican, or whatever. Who cares? This is a pandemic, for goodness sakes, and it's county government. And so we really are very fortunate here that partisan politics doesn't come into play, certainly in our conversations. So as I say, they've done a great job. But I will tell you, in the Macomb County Public Works Department, we are ready to shake this darn thing off, okay? We are rolling, and we really have been during this entire pandemic. We have not dropped a ball, and I will tell you that honestly. We have had so much interaction with the public that we serve. And I also say this, for instance, just let me give you a couple of examples of why Macomb County wants to shake this thing off. We have about triple the amount in the last several months of soil erosion permits than we have ever done before. We are looking and reviewing at more site plans than we have done. It is incredible what is happening out there economically. And as I say, in Macomb County, we're on the move. We have actually about $100 million of various kinds of projects, either under construction, getting ready to bid out, we've let the bid on them, or they're in the design phase. All kinds of things, all kinds of things. And so we are really moving in a very positive direction at the Macomb County Public Works Department. We are delighted to be a critical component of county government. And I'd also like to just say a little bit about the pandemic and what's going on in this building with all of the vaccinations. And I think one of the things that I'd like to stress, I mean, as early as 6 weeks ago, I kept hearing from people, well, they couldn't get an appointment easily enough. You know, they had to keep pushing the refresh button on their computer all the time. That's sort of baked into a certain segment of our population, I think. But please get that out of your mind. That happened before. That is not the reality now. If you want a vaccine, come and get it. Come and get it. There is plenty of vaccines for anybody that wants it. And I think that's an important thing, because when we talk about that, we all know there's a certain percentage of our population, for whatever reason, have decided they're not going to get this vaccine. What we're talking to today is the other 25% probably that haven't had a shot yet that want to come and get one. So please come and avail yourselves. They are available. You can call, you can get the same day appointment. Bring your friends, bring your neighbors, bring your family, and there's plenty of other sites. So this pandemic did put us back on our heels temporarily, but that is certainly not the case now. We're moving, we're shaking this thing off, and we have a great team here in Macomb County.
You know, follow up with what Candace was talking about. I was talking earlier, Andrew Cox, our director of our health department, who will be available if you have any specific questions or technical questions. The question keeps coming up as to, you know, are we going to open up, the site so that people can just do walk-ins? Well, to be quite frank, we have been. We have never turned anybody away. We just never announced it, and the reason for it is this. It's very simple. You can go to our site right now and get a same-day appointment. You could probably get a within an hour appointment. They're available. So right now, if you went to macombgov.org, clicked on the icon to get an appointment here at this facility or even at Southeast, our Southeast clinic down in the city of Warren, you can get yourself an appointment probably within the next hour to get yourself vaccinated. So we are saying that here today. Yes, we are open for walk-ins. Anybody that wants to come in and walk in this site, they have the ability to do so. We will not turn anyone away. It's been that case, but to be quite honest with you, it's probably simpler to guarantee you going to get yourself an appointment if you just go online and just show up at that time, and we'll get you through here efficiently. So test positive rates have gone down. Last week or two, it was about 26%. And now we're seeing it's about 16%. The hospitals are telling us there's some relief now that they're getting as a result of whatever is happening here. And I don't know if anybody really has the true understanding. There's a lot of, opinions and thoughts as to what's going on. But we know those numbers are going down. And the big question we're having right now is, also because vaccinations are going down, are people going to be willing to go that? Well, we want to make sure here in Macomb County, as Candace mentioned, there are plenty of vaccines available. And there is no reason not to get one. Even if you're looking for us to come to you, we will be able to do that as well.
I just want to thank all of the people standing behind me, the other county elected officials, the sheriff's office. We've been up and running for the past 14 months. a 24/7 operation. We don't have the ability to work from home. We have to respond to calls. We have to interact with people. And with the help of the people behind me, we were able to get our people PPE equipment. We were able to set up policies and guidelines that conform to CDC, and doing everything that we can do to protect the men and women of the Sheriff's Office, trying to reduce their exposure to COVID-19, and also being able to reduce the citizens and people we interact with exposure to COVID-19. So for the past 14 months, and it's changed. It was changing daily there at the beginning. It was changing weekly with new procedures, but we were doing our best to keep up with it, and we definitely had. My interaction with the Executive's Office, with Don Brown and his Board of Commissioners, as you know, on a daily basis, my detectives are working with Prosecutor Lucido, CPLs and fingerprinting with Clerk Forlini. The man holding all the money is our treasurer, Larry Rocca, and our Public Works Commissioner Candace. We're trying to work things to get the trustees back out, but our numbers are really low, and we just don't have that resource right now. So I, encourage people that want to get the vaccine. It's available. Yes, you heard 3 to 6 weeks ago, people were calling me, can you get me in the front of the line? I said, I'm not even going to get the vaccine because I don't want anybody to have that perception that I was taking cuts. But I did get the vaccine. I got the vaccine after a good friend, Benny Napoleon passed, and Chief Posovitz. And I had COVID, I had COVID in November, and I had mild symptoms, so I was very lucky. But I reached out and went and got the vaccine shot right after Chief died. So I encourage those that want it. It's available. Please take advantage.
Thank you to Mark Hackle, County Exec, for all the hard work he's doing. And as you can see, all of us county officials that are elected here are working for the county and for the people here in Macomb County. As he indicated, we are receiving money, and we're appropriating it where required as we receive it properly. We're working with all the county elected officials, including Don Brown, the new county chairman of the county commissioners, and we're working with the commissioners who are all working with us. As you know, the county treasurer's office is responsible for the property taxes, which we are required to do. And as of last year, with this pandemic, it was my decision not to foreclose, predicated on the fact that people are going through hard times, and we want to work with them and let you know that the county's working for you. So we have stopped the foreclosures, and we do have programs in the county treasurer's office where people in hardship can call, make an appointment, come on into the office, and we will put you on payment plans so that you can continue to stay in your home. We're also extending that elimination of foreclosure into this year because the pandemic is continuing. So we want to let you know we're there for you. And this is the vaccination center here for people who are required or would like to get the shots or need to get the shots. Mark Hackle worked very hard to get that information here and the vaccines here into this building. And we're very happy and proud to be here because of all the hard work that the people have been doing. So happy to be here working with the county officials and let you know that the Macomb County Treasurer's Office is open for appointments for anyone that wants to come in and work out a payment.
We're one team, one mission here in Macomb County. Our job is to serve the public through this pandemic, despite the obstacles we're currently facing with the health issues. But business is continuing, as you heard from Public Works Commissioner Miller and Treasurer Rocca and certainly Clerk Forlini and the Sheriff. They're all doing their jobs on a day-to-day basis, and that's a credit to our county employees who've stepped up, operating remotely and sometimes working from their workplaces here in the county and admittedly under stressful conditions, not sure where the COVID lies perhaps. But the county is operating well, as Mark alluded to. When this pandemic first came on, we had to turn the power over to Mark to give him executive authority to make decisions and approve contracts right off the bat. But once that passed and his team had put in place a process, we've been continually approving money and expenditures to combat COVID, to put money out to our business community, to our first responders, to the many other needs that are out there for PPE, small and large. My commissioners on the Board of Commissioners are very supportive of the operation as well. There are ambassadors out there advocating on behalf of the county, looking for places to outreach and set up clinics, and working closely with our county emergency management staff to find opportunities for us to push more vaccine out, to spread the word about the good things that are still going on in the county. So despite maybe some of the fatigue we all may have over this issue, you got to know that the county is in fine shape. Our finances are excellent. The process we have in place for administering the money coming in from Washington, it's a lot, and there's a lot more work on behalf of everybody's team to make sure that money's spent appropriately and in the proper places. But it's being done. The work's being done, and it's being done very well.
We have a group of people that are working together, making Macomb first and putting politics aside. I think if you ask the average person on the street, they couldn't tell you who's Democrat, who's Republican here. They just know that we care about Macomb. And Mark had asked me to put together some numbers and talk about, what we're doing in the clerk's office, because one of the things I made a promise is that when I became clerk, I wanted to be open, and we're going to be open for business. And just to tell you what the hard work that the people in the clerk's office has been doing, because we're dealing with the public probably more than any other department. CPLs alone, we did 3,000 just through the beginning of this year, 3,000 additional CPL permits over last year. You say, well, what does that mean? How many do you do? Well, last year we did 1,500 up until now. Right now we're over 4,100 CPLs that we've processed. That's quite a change, and that's really a system issue and the people that are working in that office that are just making it happen. Vital records, we've had a 40% increase in vital records. That's birth certificates, marriage certificates. I can go through a whole bunch of them, but we are doing it 40% more than we did it last year, and this is in the midst of another pandemic. And registered deeds, 10% more recorded deeds this year over last year. And on the court side, we've had 68,000 e-documents filed this year that we've processed. 68,000. That's just through this point in time. And handled over 11,000 phone calls just in that one department. At the same time, we're putting new technology in place. Technology that's going to help us into the future, help us work a little bit more remote. And we're doing the same thing on the election side, where we're changing the software so that candidates can do a little better job in their filings, and we can track that a little bit better. So we got a lot going on in the midst of this pandemic, and it's really a credit to all the individuals in the clerk's office that have just done a tremendous job keeping us open, keeping us relevant, and making sure we don't get behind. So, and what you're going to hear is the same theme, not just from me, but from everybody behind me. It's a great team that we're working together to make sure we're doing the right job for the citizens of Macomb County.
First of all, as chief law enforcement official of this county, it has been a challenge. But with the help of the individuals that are here today, the elected, it's a smooth transition for me to get into the office and look at it in light most favorable to the people that put us into office. We work for you, the people of Macomb County. You put us here. We intend to do the job that you put us here to do. In addition, working in law enforcement, we couldn't close. We had to stay open. There was no time limit. Crime is occurring around the clock, even during a pandemic. And you know what? The laws are put into place to protect the citizens of this county. There's no law about getting a vaccination. What there is about family and the friends and the loved ones. And they want you to do the right thing at the right time when you're ready to do it. Now's the time. Please think about your families when you make these choices. Think about your children, your grandchildren. Think about your nieces, your nephews, your uncles, your aunts. Think about those friends that you care about. You know, it's not everybody that has to take a vaccination, but since it is available, come and get it. It's open. It's ready. It's now. My daughter, who works at the World Health Organization, I'm very proud of her. She said, "Dad, life is in session," which means even during a pandemic, we all have to do what we have to do. Do the right thing. Protect yourselves, protect those around you, and protect those that you serve or that serve you. I want to thank, first and foremost, the elected officials for putting this together. Thank you, Mark Hackle, for your leadership and your vision for this county. I want to thank also our first-line responders, the law enforcement officials through the Sheriff Department, as well as all of the law enforcement in this county. You stood up even during a pandemic. Those firefighters that were there at the front lines, thank you. Those healthcare officials, let's not forget them. Those hospitals that were burdened and overburdened and not knowing what they were dealing with and how to deal with it, thank you. But at the end of the day, I want to thank the staff that I have. They came through like champions. They were there to greet those officers with the warrants, sign those warrants, because crime didn't stop during a pandemic, and it doesn't stop today. So God bless those individuals that came to work, did the job. The courts are filled right now, and justice is on slow motion, which means we can't open those courtroom doors and try cases. And those victims, thank you for being patient. I know your patience is wearing, and so is mine. We want to try your case and find to get you and your family justice so the closure and healing will begin. So I want to thank all of the individuals that are here today, all the department heads that are the elected, and all their staffs put together cumulatively. Because without you, this county isn't resilient, and it doesn't have the true grit. But because of you, we stand together.
This is the reason we picked this location is this is our premier site for vaccination. Vaccination is available. I mean, you get same-day appointments. You can go to pharmacies. You can go pretty much anywhere and get a vaccination. So there's really no reason for somebody to say it's not available, I can't get it. Whereas probably about a month, 2 months ago, if you recall the big challenge we had, we were inundated with folks that wanted to get vaccinated to see. The demand was incredible, yet the supply was very limited. As we stand here today, that is not the case. So we want you to help get that message out. They can go to macombgov.org, click on the icon that says vaccination appointments, get an appointment here in Macomb County same day, or they can walk into our site here as well. So with that being said, I want to thank our countywide elected officials, and as Pete had mentioned, there's no question about it. The staff, the folks working throughout the county continue to make this happen within all of our departments and within all of our responsibilities, but specifically for our health department and the work they've done.